Hey there, and welcome to Goal Getter, the podcast that gives high-performing women the nutrition, mindset, and goal-setting strategies that actually work. I'm your host, Jenna Hostetler, registered dietitian, certified neurocoach, and your go-to guide to break free from burnout, cut through the health noise, and reclaim control of your health, your habits, and your life. Each week, you'll get practical, science-backed strategies to support you in crushing your goals so you can stop second-guessing yourself, sharpen your focus, and finally feel like the woman who leads her life, not just survives it. Hey there, today we are finishing the conversation about sugar addiction with addiction recovery specialist all the way from Sweden, Bitten Johnson. If you did not listen to last week's episode, pause this, go listen to it, and then come back. If you did listen last week, then get ready for a very interesting conversation. Let's dive in. So if somebody is not sure if they're a harmful user or if they are actually addicted to some sugar, is there something they can do, like, eliminate these foods, and like what reaction would they be looking for to identify what they are?
Well, if they do that all by themselves without support or, knowledge, I think doing it in that way is doomed to fail after maybe a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, because you don't know all the things that's going to happen in your body, in your brain, in your hormonal system, in your microbiome, in your stomach. So you're going to feel pretty bad. So you can do it for a while. I used to say that method, it's like holding a Pilates ball under the water. Your arm's going to get very tired. It's going to bounce back up in your face. But, to do that with professional help, somebody that knows all the symptoms, knows everything that's going to happen in your body, that can give you knowledge, because knowledge is power. To understand my brain, my special addicted brain, my body, that is power. And that's going to give you the energy you need to do the changes, even if there are days when you feel miserable, absolutely miserable. You have headache, you feel you want to throw up. You have pain in your body, you think that this is the dumbest idea. All you want to do is run to the store and buy the whole freezer of ice cream or chocolate, or go to the bakery and eat all the bread in the world. So that's going to happen. And it's going to be so painful that you might not handle that pressure unless you have support. So we need both professional knowledge and help to, stake out the road. This is what's going to happen. And then we need support, other people, like-minded people that can say, just one more day, do it one more day, hang in there until you go to bed tonight. And that's the best trick in the world, to only do it one day at a time. We work a lot with that.
Yeah.
So that's, I suggest that you join a group, or don't try to do it yourself. It's like lifting yourself in the hair, you're probably going to fail.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen any similarities to where you think sugar addiction starts? Are there events, like traumatic events?
No, that's a myth. It's a myth. Addiction is not caused by something.
Really?
Nope. That's a very dangerous theory too, because then you're going to start dealing with the trauma and do therapy about the trauma. And you don't understand that, the drug causes your misery. So you have to learn how to put the horse in front of the wagon. But let me tell you this, sugar addiction starts in people that have a genetically addictive prone brain, when they get in touch with the substance. It's the same with alcohol, and, that's what causes addiction. It's about the brain, the sensitive brain reacting on the psychoactive substance or processes, because we talk about process addiction today too. That's important. Dieting can be a process addiction. Starving can be a process addiction. Binging, purging, volume eating can be process addictions. But they're all developed from the sugar addiction as a way to try to control this insanity, with the craving and on and off, and, all that kind of craziness that goes on when we diet all the time. So, anything that happens, trauma, because most people have trauma, right? But it didn't cause the addiction. That's very important, because you can't treat it if you think that. You have to start before. You have to start. That's why I developed this instrument, a diagnostic tool, sugar, because there we can see when it started, and you can clearly see that it started before the depression, before the trauma, before the divorce, before, this and that. It's very clear in the diagnostic assessment we do that, the sugar addiction came first, and then came the consequences. So people think that they eat because they are depressed, but they are depressed because of the psychoactive substance screwing up their brain. But since everybody has traumas, griefs, sorrows, things that happen to us, if you are addicted at a young age and those things happen to you, they will be exaggerated due to your brain not functioning properly because you have a psychoactive substance in there on a daily basis. So it gets warped. So when you go into treatment and you detox and start healing your brain, which, by the way, takes about 12 to 18 months, maybe longer, before your brain is healed and the neurotransmitters is back in order and all that, and the receptors are okay and so forth. Then, when you're stable, when you gain back your mental horsepower and you feel you have energy and you feel good about yourself, that's when you can do therapy on whatever is left of what you thought was your dilemmas. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why it's so important to work in the right order.
Sure.
I think I've seen so many clients through the years that are very broken because, they went to one therapist after the other, trying to heal a trauma or trying to heal a grief or something that happened to them. And nobody taught them about the food as a medicine and fuel to restore energy. So they did therapy, and all that led to was worse eating. Because you have to, the pain that was starting, you didn't have, the stability to do therapy, and you do therapy and you keep eating the drug. Can you see how that happens? 1 + 1 is going to be 3 or 5. So once people come to us, we stop all that. And we said, okay, first things first, heal your brain, restore your energy, learn how to breathe properly, because addicts overbreathe. Learn how to have good sleep. Learn how to have balanced and good physical activity. We give supplements. We work with amino acids and minerals and fish oil and a little bit of that. Nothing really fancy, but, then they have to learn a routine. The most important thing is to withstand craving, prevent relapse, and that you do on a daily basis. So once you get stable in living a life where, all occasions that happen in your life, you go to your first wedding and you don't eat the cake, people are going to look at you, but you have to stand straight for yourself. No, I don't eat cake. Christmas, Easter, I could go on and on, but you understand what I mean. You have to learn to be stable in your, food plan, in your new fuel mix, and view food as fuel and medicine for your brain and your body, and not a joy or something to, change your consciousness with or whatever. So you have to learn that first before I recommend that you start going into therapy. There are cases where there is a severe acute trauma that needs to be dealt with, or many of my clients are also addicted to alcohol or pills. You have to take that first. You can't work with, alcoholic or cannabis addict or drug addict. You can't work with the food unless you take those first, because rule number 1, the thing that is most dangerous, you take first. And it is always safety first for the client, and then you go for the food. Does it make sense?
Yeah, a lot of incredible takeaways. So no food addiction, it's a sugar addiction. It's an addiction to a psychoactive substance.
In my world.
But it makes perfect sense, because you're right, people aren't addicted to high quality lettuce that they grew in their garden.
I've never seen that. Well, they can binge eat any food. But the binge eating purging is due to the sugar addiction in the bottom. And you need knowledge to understand and see that clearly and help the client see that.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about the assessment that you have for the audience, and who would be a good person to look into that? Or should everybody just do it and see what happens?
Well, no, everybody don't have to do it, I promise you. No, I think that anyone listening thinking, oh, I recognize a lot what she's saying, about these things. And I know that I'm a chronic dieter and I haven't succeeded long-term yet. My energy is, up and down, and I don't feel good. And I know deep inside, every addict know what our big love is, either is it, for some people, it's pasta, bread, that type of thing. For some, it is chocolate, ice cream. It was for me. I'm never a bread lover. And some have both, but it is the sugar people want. So if you know that you can't quit that and stay off it, because an addict can quit, but not stay quit. So if you recognize that you might be, and you could also go to my website and do the UNCOPE screening questionnaire, 6 simple questions. And if you answer yes to 2 or more, and the more you have, of course, the more, that's a sign that something is really wrong. And then you could contact one of my professionals or me, because, I offer what do you call it? Discount was the word I was looking for. I'm tired and I'm in Sweden this evening. But anyway, so if you think that would benefit you, because the people that do the sugar, they are incredibly relieved. They understand they have a brain illness. I'm not a bad person. It's not about my character or that I am a failure. They have lots of shame and stigma around this, but then they understand I have an illness. We clearly see that. And so most people cry because they're relieved, because finally somebody's listening to me, taking me serious. And a lot of people say, nobody ever asked me those questions, because it's very specific questions in order to diagnose a sugar addiction. So, and then they see their whole life on the curve with the weight and everything, and they go, oh my God, that's me. And I like to quote Winston Churchill. He said, the further back you look, the further forward you can go. So that's how we use the tool. And also the tool will not only give you the diagnosis, but it was also for us as professionals, map out all your consequences so we could do the best individual treatment plan, from that information.
Wow. This has been incredibly helpful. Like I said, we learned nothing about this stuff in school. Like, if you are a chronic dieter, it's because you have no motivation, that's the type of stuff they like to teach. So if this is something that you think you could benefit from, do that assessment, find out more. And I believe your website is bittensaddictions.com.
Bittensaddiction.com. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely check that out, because that relief of it's not my fault and I don't have to feel guilty anymore is huge for people.
It's a biochemical problem. It's not your fault. And remember, if you have a sensitive, addicted brain, that's a superpower. But you need a special driver license if you want to be energetic and healthy. That's the way I view it. I know that.
Awesome. And definitely seek the help of people like Bitten who know how to do this properly. Because like you said, it's all connected. It's incredibly complicated. You can't just start eliminating things and hope that you'll start seeing results, because that will just cause further destruction down the road. So thank you so much for being here today. Like I said, this was incredibly helpful, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Okay. Thank you very much. I say goodbye and good night.
Yes, get some good sleep.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
There's one thing she mentioned in the last episode that I want to revisit, and that's people struggling with sugar addiction feeling like a failure. Look, you can't fix what you don't know is broken, and if you've been struggling with this, you probably had no idea what you were up against. So now that you know what you're dealing with, go to Bitten's site in the show notes below, look at her resources, and start working to overcome it with the right information. That is the entire purpose of this podcast and of Sprint Nutrition. Not to tell you what to do, but to give you the resources and empower you to go create your best life with what you know works. So if you want to know more about food addiction, not specifically sugar addiction, check out episodes 39 and 40. They are also linked in the show notes below. So you have the tools, you have the information you need, go take action, stay empowered, and I'll see you next week. Okay, now before you pop off, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the one episode that could change your life. And it would be incredibly helpful if you would leave a 5-star review so that more high-performing women can find this podcast. If you want to check out all of the free guides, templates, and resources I've given away, go to sprintnutritioncoaching.com. You can grab anything you want, but only if you will do it, because information without implementation is worthless. And here at Goal Getter, we are action takers, not excuse makers.